Good morning everyone, welcome back to your maths class. As you remember that last turn we have started our chapter factorization, and actually we started the second exercise of factorization, in which we were factorizing the given question using the identity a square minus b square. This was our idea, to factorize a given sum using this identity a square minus b square, which is in one bracket a plus b and in another bracket it is a minus b. So this is the identity which we are using in this exercise and try to factorize a given question. We have taken some of the questions. Let's take some more questions so that it is clear to you all. Okay, now here is one question I am going to take. As the question given is x to the power 4 minus 81. So this is your given question and they are asking you to factorize the question. Okay, now if you see when you see this question and we are asked to factorize, it is that nothing is common. At first we see, so there is nothing common. So what we are going to do is we are trying to make it like this, the difference of two perfect squares. So this x to the power 4, can we write it as x to the power 2 and again the power 2, because we know where this 2 into 2 will get multiplied and it will eventually be x to the power 4, and minus this 81 is also a perfect square. It is actually a perfect square of 9. So we can write 9 square. 81 can be written as 9 square. Now if you see, this is similar to this identity a something square, that is a square minus b square, where your a is x square. You see whatever there in the bracket, that is your a. So your a is x square and your b is 9. When you compare, I think you are getting the values. Now according to the identity, if you are getting a square minus b square, we can write in one bracket a plus b. What is your a? X square. So that is x square plus b, which is your 9. Another bracket a minus b. What is your a? X square minus b. What is your b? It is 9. Is it clear? Now that's how we have factorized it. But now here if you see, in the first bracket we cannot do anything since here we are having plus, but here further we can factorize and we can make it like this. See, here it is x square plus 9, and here if you see, x square is already as a perfect square given and 9 is also a perfect square of 3. So we can write it as 3 square, isn't it? Now you see in the second bracket again it is like a square minus b square. This time your a is x and your b is 3. So if this bracket would be similar, or we will write it as it is. Now this is again we can apply the formula, that is x in one bracket a plus b. A is your x plus b is your 3. Another bracket a minus b, that is x minus 3. Now this is your factorization. Here in this bracket we cannot apply the identity because there should be a minus sign between the two square, and here we are getting the plus value, so we cannot apply. But here it was x square minus 9, so of course we can write 9 as 3 square, and that's how we have applied the identity. Here I have taken another question. Here if you see, 4 terms are given and they are asking you to factorize. So whenever there are 4 terms given, it is easy to couple the terms and then try to take something common if there is something common. So what I am going to do, I am going to take these two terms together and these two terms together. Okay, not every time this is going to be working, but then here in this case you can couple them and you can take something common. So here in these two terms, if you see, here we have x cube and x square. So which value will take common? The smaller value, that is x square. And then what is there? X cube, we have taken x square common, so in the first term we have x left, minus x square is common, so we have 5. Okay, now in this bracket, since we want x minus 5, as you know, to take further common we want the second bracket similar to this bracket. So in this bracket we have 5 with minus sign. So here we have, but here we have 5 with plus sign. So if we want to make it minus sign, which sign we should take common? Minus from that. That is what we have discussed in the last turn. But here I am going to do it a little different. What if you are not able to understand which sign to take common? So let us take this time easily. I am going to take plus sign common. Okay. Now, if you're taking plus common, now x and 5, is there anything common? No. If there is nothing common, then we'll take 1 because 1 is everywhere their factor. So we have taken 1 as common. So now x, because 1 is common, so it would be x only, and since you have taken plus sign common, so the signs of the term will not change. Only when you take minus common, then the signs of the terms will get changed. So here, as I've taken plus common, so and plus and 1 common, so here it would be minus x only, minus x. Why? Because nothing is common, 1 common, so x will be there and minus will also be there as we have taken plus common. And now here we have taken plus common, so it is going to be plus 5 as it is. Okay. Now further, if you see here in this first bracket, it is x minus 5. In the second bracket, if I write it properly, x square, so that you can see x minus 5 plus 1, we can write it as 5 minus, because it is minus x plus 5. I am writing 5 first, or 5 here. So 5 minus x. You can write first, you can write 5 and then you can write minus. But 5 is with plus sign and x is with minus sign. Now, further if you see, we want to take common. So here in this bracket we have x minus 5. Whereas in the second bracket you have 5 minus x, which is not similar, which is different. Here we have 5 with minus sign. Here we have 5 with plus sign. That means the signs are different. So in order to make the two brackets similar, that means we actually have to alter the sign in this bracket. We want x with plus sign and we want 5 with minus sign. So what can we do? As just to alter the sign, I have told you, we have discussed this in last term, that whenever we want to alter the sign, we actually take minus sign common. So what I am going to do is I am going to take minus sign common from this bracket. So when you take minus sign common, that minus and this plus will become minus, because I am taking minus common, that will come out, and that minus and this plus will become minus 1 as it is. Now since I have taken minus common, so whenever we take minus common, the signs always changes. So here we have minus x, so it will become plus x. Here we have plus 5, it will become minus 5. That means plus x minus 5. So that's how I am writing plus x and minus 5. Now as we have taken minus common, you see both the brackets are similar now. So we can take x minus 5 further common, and then we are left with first bracket x square minus 1. Okay. Now this is how we do. Further we proceed in this question. I want you all to see that instead of taking plus 1 common, those who understand and those who practice, you will get to see that since we wanted this bracket x minus 5, instead of taking plus common from these two terms, if we would have taken minus common, so we would get this x minus 5. So we shouldn't have to do this two extra lines. So but I wanted to show you all, and that's how we did. Okay. Now since we have reached here, so if you see here, this is x minus 5, we cannot do anything, but here we can further apply the same identity, as this 1 can anytime be written as 1 square. Okay. Now if you see, this is now x square minus 1 square, which is similar to a square minus b square, where your a is x and your b is 1. So again we can apply the identity here. So it will be x minus 5 and then a square minus b square, a plus b, a minus b. A is your x plus b is your 1. So a plus b and a minus b. So that's how we factorize the question. Okay. Okay, here we have our next question. This is 9x plus a whole square minus 4x square. So we have to factorize the question. First we'll see if anything, before applying any identity or the identity a square minus b square, we see if anything is common. So here we see nothing is common, and also we see that we can make it a perfect square. 9 is a perfect square of 3. So we can write it as 3 square and x plus a whole square, isn't it? Now minus 4 is a perfect square of 2 and x square. So I'm directly writing it as 2x square. Is it okay? Now you see, this is 3 square and x plus a square. So we can write, as you know that if it is written a square and b square, so we can write it as ab whole square, since both the terms are having the similar power and they are in multiplication. So we can do this. So here if you see, we can actually write it as 3 x plus a, because both of them are having power 2, so I am writing it together and the whole power 2. Okay, minus it is 2x whole square. Okay, now here if you see, now it has reduced according to the identity, that is a square minus b square. Here what is your a? This whole thing is at the place of a if you compare, and what is your b? That is 2x. So it is simply a plus b and a minus b. In one bracket you will write a, which is 3x plus a. This is your a. Better if we write in the square bracket. So this is your a minus b. A plus b or a minus b. So let's write a plus b first. It is there is no problem if you write a plus b, a minus b, or a minus b, a plus b. So plus 2x. This is a plus b. Now the next bracket, a minus b. What is your a? This whole thing, that is 3x plus a. This is your a minus b. B is 2x. Is it clear? So now since we have applied, now let us simplify it. So when we open the bracket, this will be 3x plus 3 into a will be 3a plus 2x. Okay, and what about this term? This will be 3x plus 3a minus 2x. Okay, now here if you see, we since we are getting the like terms as 3x and 2x, they are the like terms plus with plus sign, so 3x plus 2x will be 5x. So it will be 5x and then there will be 3a as it is. And what about here? 3x with plus sign, 2x with minus sign. So 3x minus 2x would be x only and plus 3a. So this would be our factorization of our given question. So here is our next question. It is x square minus 1 minus 2a minus a square. So here if you see, there are even number of terms. So previously what we are doing, if there are even number of terms, we actually pair them together and then we take common. But here this question is little different. We cannot pair them up and then take common. It will not get you or give you any answer. So here what we do is this. Again I'll tell you that these things you will only understand, or you will only get to see when you practice a lot. Okay. So here it is x square as it is. See, from these three terms, what I am going to do, I am going to take this x alone and these three terms together. Okay. Now, x square as it is, from these three terms, I am taking minus common, as minus is there. So, minus common. And when you take minus common, it will be, and when we take minus common, signs will change. That is 1, then it will be plus 2a and it will be plus a square. Isn't it? So, here. Now if you see, if I rearrange the term or rewrite the term, I am writing a square first, then I am writing plus and then I am writing 2a. Okay. Now if you see, this bracket is nothing but it is, if I write 1 as 1 square, it would be 1 only. A square plus b square plus 2ab. So this is actually the perfect square of a plus 1 whole square. How? If you take a plus 1, let me show you, a plus 1 and you open, a plus 1 whole square, you open, what will be the identity? It is a square plus b square plus 2ab. So a square plus b square is 1, 1 square will be 1 plus 2ab. 2a is a and b is 1. So 1 would be 2a only. So a square plus 1 plus 2a. So that means this is nothing but the perfect square of a plus 1 whole square. That's how we have written this. Okay. Now you see. Further if you see, this now has reduced to the identity, and now here we can use the identity a square minus b square. Okay. Where your a is x and your b is this thing, a plus 1. I hope now you are able to compare the terms. Okay. So now when we apply the identity, it should be a in one bracket a plus b, another bracket a minus b, where your a is x plus b, b is a plus 1. It is better to write that first you write the things in bracket and then we open the bracket. Okay. This is a plus b. In second bracket a minus b. A is x minus, what is your b? This is a plus 1. Is it okay? So that's how. Now let us open the bracket. it is simply, since it is plus, so it is simply x plus a plus 1, and here when we open the bracket x, so the bracket will get opened with minus sign, so it will be x minus a minus 1. Is it okay? Okay, here I have taken another question. Now this is the question which is x square plus 1 upon x square minus 11. Here if you see how to factorize, so at once when you see, you cannot do a perfect square, or you cannot apply the identity a square minus b square and nothing is common. So here the trick is that first what are we going to write? We have to actually make our question like that, x square plus 1 upon x square. This 11, can I write it as minus 2 and minus 9, because still it is minus 11, minus 2 minus 9 will be 11 only. Okay, so this minus 11 I am writing it as minus. I am actually splitting 11 in two numbers, minus 2 and minus 9. And when we have split it, I am going to take these three terms together and this 9 separate, as we did just exactly in our last question. Now if you see, x square plus 1 upon x square minus 2 we have taken together, and minus we are having 9, which is a perfect square of 3. Okay, now here you see x square plus 1 upon x square minus 2 is nothing but the perfect square of x minus 1 upon x. When you open the bracket, I hope that you have learned the chapter expansion, and this, when you open the term or when you expand the term x minus 1 upon x whole square using the identity a minus b whole square, you will get exactly this term. How will you get this, or how will you find out that we have to use this identity? Practice. So in the previous chapter we have simplified these type of questions, so you will get to see that at this place we can write this. Okay, now minus 3 square. Okay, so here if you see, again it has now reduced to like this a square minus b square, where your a is this whole term. If you compare a minus x minus 1 upon x, and your b is 3. Okay, so now if I write this further, it is a square minus b square, which is a plus b and a minus b. So in one bracket, a is your x minus 1 upon x, this is your a, plus b is your 3, and in another bracket a minus b, what is your a? X minus 1 upon x, this is your a minus b, that is minus 3. So that's how we have simplified. Our next question is x to the power 4 plus 5x square plus 9, and this question we have to factorize. So here if you see, nothing is common, we cannot take these two terms together and common, and nothing is common, we cannot use identity a square minus b square now. So in this question we actually have to do something. What we are going to do is that we are actually adding and subtracting x square. Okay, so if I write, we are adding and subtracting x square. That means our question is x to the power 4 plus 5x square plus 9. We have to add x square, that is plus x square. We have to subtract also, that is minus x square. And when we do this, see, it will not change our question, because whatever quantity we are adding, same quantity we are subtracting as well. So it will be same. Okay. So now why are we doing this? I'll show you. So here if I am writing x to the power 4 and this 5x square and this x square I am taking together. So 5x square plus x square will give you 6x square, since they are the like terms, and then I am taking plus 9, and then we are left with minus x square. Okay. Now when you take this, I'll show you. This x to the power 4, can you write it as x square to the power 2? And this plus 9, can you write, since plus 9 or 9 is a perfect square of 3, so you can write it as 3 square. And then this, see, this 6x square, can we write it as 2 into 3, 6 can be written as 2 into 3 and then x square, so that I can show you. So this term we have written like that, and then we have this minus x square. Is it okay? Now you see, if I take this term as a as x square, this 3 as b, and then you see it is exactly a square plus b square plus 2 into a. A is what? X square. So we are getting x square also into b. B is what? 3. So this term is similar to a square plus b square plus 2ab, which is the perfect square of a plus b whole square, or which by the identity it is a plus b whole square, which is the perfect square of a plus b. So, or you can use the identity at this place a plus b whole square, where your a is a square and where your b is 3 and then 2ab. So at this place we can write a plus b, where your a is x square plus your b is 3. Are you getting this? And then the square. In case you are not understanding, just whatever we have written, just open it. This is nothing but a plus b whole square, where your a is x square, where your b is 3. When you open this, you will exactly get these terms. That is x to the power 4 plus 6x square plus 9. That means this can be reduced to this term. Okay. And then we are having minus x square as it is. Now if you see, here we have this thing. This term is reduced to something square minus x square. That means this is similar to a square minus b square. Okay. If I write, by the way, your a is this whole thing, x square plus 3, and your b is x. Okay. So in one bracket it should be a plus b, where your a is x square plus 3. This is your a plus b. What is your b? That is x plus a plus b. If you see, this is your a and this is x, your b. Now in other bracket, a minus b. What is your a? That is x square plus 3 minus b. What is your b? Minus x. Now you cannot further simplify because these two terms are not similar. These are unlike terms. This is x square and this is x. Do not add them. So here now we cannot do anything. So this is our answer. Okay. So here some more questions are left, and I hope that next turn we'll see the remaining questions and then we'll simplify our next exercise.